Alright, welcome back to Tesla Truck channel. Today we're going to do a different comparison. It's another one of Tesla's competitor. This one is Bollinger. And the model that we're going to be looking at is their B2 truck. So let's watch their promo video and check it out. They just went with a black and white retro looking video. Kind of matches the style of the truck. See, that tunnel is way better than the Rivian's and gear tunnel. That tunnel can fit a lot of stuff. They got lumber. And now they got a 12-foot ladder. That's impressive. And look at that. You can close the trunk lid without issue. 4 crew members, not bad. Standard, of course. B2 pickup truck, Bollinger Motors. Alright, so there is that truck right there. Now, let's go ahead and go to their website and look at the truck a little bit closer. So, looking at this picture here, side view, it's a very typical looking truck. It has very straight lines, squares and rectangles, some diagonals, but it doesn't have that same slick curve like the Tesla, even though it has straight lines. It's more like a retro straight lines that appeals to people who are into Hummers, tank looks, so Jeep. So this is what that truck looks like to me and the design that they went with. Here are some more pictures. We got the front view. Look at that. You got the front light and the fog lights, and they're surrounded by this mesh that they don't even bother covering up. I'm not sure if that's a good idea because a lot of things obviously can get in there. Look at the tow hooks right here. They look kind of unique. And the front, I mean, it's just a very flat, square, rectangular, macho looking kind of a truck. We got the rear view. Once again, that styling, just front and back, no change, no difference. It's pretty consistent. I don't have a problem with this design. But this right here, this could very well be one of the greatest things I've seen put in a truck. I mean, a lot of manufacturers have what I consider semi-gimmicky or useful stuff, but this right here is extremely useful. You're talking about lumber, and in the video we saw ladder, but you gotta remember, you can put all kinds of pipes in there. You can even put a giant beam in here, and you know when you're carrying a giant beam on your truck, it can be a pain trying to lift it up over the lumber rack. But with this, you can just slide it right in. So that's a great design choice. And the philosophy for this truck and the design decisions have all been tailored to that contractor, builder, woodworker, carpenter, whatever. You can do all kinds of stuff, and you can use this truck for all kind of purpose. And the fact that you don't have to have that lumber rack that kind of blocks the side right here, it's even better. It doesn't get, it's not heavy for you to load the lumber in. You slide it in, it's fine. Having that rack can obstruct a lot of things. For example, like when you wanted to load stuff and have a loader put stuff in, then having that rack kind of prevents them from doing that. They either have to go in from the side very carefully and tilt the bucket correctly, or they have to go all the way up and dump it straight down, which of course is also not good, because what if you're throwing like thousands of pounds of gravel, and at that height it causes a lot of problem for your truck. I mean, you obviously don't want things to get damaged. So the fact that you can put all that lumber in here and not have to worry about that, and you can still load stuff from the side, perfect. Awesome. Here's the front view from an angle. Interesting design choice. Same thing, pretty consistent back here. I've noticed that their hinges look their hinges right here, and instead of having like the standard handles, they have this hinge and latch, and it looks really cool. But we'll see how we'll see how they are in practice. But right now they look like those latches from like those ammo canisters. Alright, here's the inside. Look at that, even the steering wheel looks like retro. and all the buttons and the knobs and everything about it looks like it came from the 60s or the 70s. Yeah, check it out. The front dashboard, they got all these like bolts that you can, they're visible. They don't even try to hide it and make it neat. They just say, you know what, I'm gonna just screw this in. You can screw it out if you want to using some kind of like Allen wrench or a hex. All right, so those are just some really nice close-up picture of the truck. Let's look at what it has to offer. And clearly the B2 is the big brother of the B1 according to their website. And if you look at their B1, it's really just an SUV, slightly shorter than this one. Okay, why don't we look at the specs that they offer? Here's the horsepower number, 614. The torque, 668 foot-pound of torque. The towing capability, 7,500 pounds. That's pretty low. That's the lowest model Tesla's capable of towing, which is 7,500 pounds. The 5,000 pound payload though is a whole different story. This is much higher than what Tesla can do, and I think they tailored their truck just for that. So that's, if you're hauling a lot of stuff, great, this truck can handle it. Now you got the range at 200 miles. That's actually on the low end. I think the Tesla starts at around, let me see, it has, here we go, 250 miles plus. So they probably 260, 275, but it's higher than 200, and that's what the Bollinger offers. Here the bed length is 6 feet by 6 foot by default, but you can put the stuff down in the front, the little rear window, and also the seat, and it becomes an 8-foot bed. You don't have to order a truck that comes with an 8-foot bed if you don't want to deal with that. All you have to do is just put this, I guess, pull the seat out or push the seat down and lift up that rear window, and you got 8-foot bed, which is awesome to just have that as a feature and built in into it. And look at this. All of these things that you see here, all these features, the only problem is it's difficult to get past this number. This is a truck that they want to sell for $125,000. $125,000. And they designed this truck with the intention of catering to people who like to do work, construction work, carpentry, I don't know, drywall, all kind of different work. But they expect to sell this truck at $125,000. I mean, you might as well ignore all the features right here, because who is gonna get past that number? I mean, maybe 5% of the people that can afford this truck probably won't even make use of the truck, because if you're the kind of person who can afford a $125,000 truck, chances are you're not gonna be out there putting drywalls up, right? Cutting lumbers, climbing on roof, doing roofing, and you're not in there doing construction. So I'm kind of confused as to why they built this truck the way they did, to have all these features for contractors and builders, but price it so much far out of range of what they would typically pay for a truck to use for that purpose. So $125,000 is essentially a Tesla Cybertruck tri-motor configuration and a Tesla Cybertruck dual motor. So that's literally having two trucks into one for that price. But I guess when they did this, they didn't expect Tesla to come out with a truck this badass for that price range. So they were caught dead in the water. I mean, no matter how I can read the specs back and forth to you guys, but man, it's hard to get past that price, right? But you know what? I guess for the purpose of this comparison, let's just go ahead and talk about what they have here in the specs. You got a 120 kilowatt hour battery pack, good for 200 miles. You got 4 passenger seating, 4 foot 1 inch bed width. You see how they designed the bed so that it can fit a 4x8, and the bed length is standard 5'9", but if you put, I guess, oh, here it goes, the cap wall open and the rear seats removed, you can put you can get 8 foot and 2 inches in there. The power is a dual motor engine, front and rear. Oh, here's is kind of cool. You got 2 different charging ports. 110 volt, 220 volt. Oh wait, you know what? That's confusing. I thought that was the output. No, no. I think what this is the port for charging. So you can charge by 110 volt and 220 volt. That makes more sense. And they have different type of charging speed here. You can get 10 hours with 220 volt, and look, 75-minute with level 3 fast charging. We saw the horsepower number, we saw the torque number, we saw, oh, here's something new. 4.5 seconds from 0 to 60. If you care about acceleration, that's pretty much like in the Raptor territory. Even a Toyota Tundra, if you put in a supercharger, you might get close to 4.5, but I'm not quite sure if it can get to 4.5, but that's pretty much in that territory. So you're talking about a very fast truck here. Top speed 100 mile per hour. I don't think it matters much for a truck. Okay, let's go. Wow, look at this. Internal length 19 foot 4 inches with the lift gates open. The front trunks is 14 cubic feet. That's a lot of space. And the cool thing about the pass-through tunnel is that you can have something that's 13 inches wide and 14 inches high. So think of it this way. 13-inch wide is a foot and 1 inch, right? That means you can get a beam, like you can get a beam that is dimensionally speaking like an 8 by 14 and will still be able to lay flat and slide it right through. Or you can get even something close to like 14, I want to say maybe like let's say you get an 8 by 14. You can still put that in there without any issues. And not having to carry that giant beam and put it on a lumber rack and just to be able to slide into the bed, it's absolutely amazing if you're doing construction work and if you're putting down like giant beams or posts onto a new construction. That saves you a lot of time and energy, and it's also much safer. And it's something that you can actually, this would allow you to manage those tasks with just one person instead of having needing two. Okay, so oh, look at it. They say you can put 42 by 4s into that tunnel, that pass-through tunnel, or 72 sheets of 4 by 8 and 1/2 inch plywood. Wow. Okay. I don't know how much. Well, I guess 72 sheets would weigh under 5,000, but man, that's a lot of stuff. Okay, here we have ground clearance at 15 inch. The Tesla is about 16 inch. So on default, this thing is an inch lower. But here's where they did a good job of making this even better than what Tesla offers. You got 10 inch to 20 inch of variable ground clearance. So based on what they're saying, you can have a 15 inch clearance, but you can raise it up or go down an additional 5 inch. So technically you can go up to 20 inch in the rear or the front or both. And 20 inch is a massive amount of clearance. The width of the length of the truck is 207 inch. So the Tesla truck is actually longer than this, which is kind of surprising when you look at the picture of this truck right here versus the Tesla truck. You wouldn't think that the Tesla truck is longer, but apparently it is. So the Tesla is about 231 inches. This one is 207. The width is also very similar, but the Tesla is slightly wider, even without the mirrors. So we don't know what the Tesla is going to be like once they actually have to put those mirrors on. It's actually slightly lower than the Tesla in terms of height. The Tesla goes up to about 78 inch. This one is 72 inch. Okay, and the angle right here, approach, departure. I guess this is all really important when you're into off-roading, but these are all pretty decent numbers right here. I think the Tesla is in the 30s. I'll have to double check on that later. Okay, we have tires, 17 inch standard, 285 by 70. Those are LT tires, so any truck within these specs are gonna have tires around that. Would have been nice if you can get like a 20 inch tire on these, but I guess not. Okay, so Another surprising stat on this truck is that it only weighs 5,000 pounds. So that's what they're saying. This hunk of metal weighs 5,000 pounds, and that leaves you with the ability to carry an additional 5,000 pound payload, making the vehicle a gross vehicle weight rating of 10,001 pounds. I'm not sure how they managed to do that, but that's a lot of aluminum and steel, and only managed 7,000 pounds. I'm sorry, 5,000 pounds, because I think the Tesla might be closer to 7,000 pounds, unless that proprietary steel that they're using is a lot lighter than we expect. But man, this is a really light truck. Okay, and in terms of features, the flip down rear cabin wall, we kind of heard about that. That allows you to extend the bed a little bit longer. Flip up rear window, awesome. Removable glass, removable door, removable roof panels. I guess everything can just be removed because they got those latch and hinges that you can just snap on and clamp it down. And if you don't want them, you can just take them out. So it's like a convertible truck almost. Okay, we got heated seat, removable rear seats, Bluetooth tech, 110 volt outlets. I mean, good God, that's a lot of. I don't know why you would put 110 volt outlets in a truck, but I guess if they wanted to do it, they could. Okay, so spec wise and intention of design choices, this truck is clearly aimed at the common worker, contractor, right? But why would any contractor spend $125,000 on this truck? This truck isn't a lifestyle vehicle. It doesn't have the kind of feature that the Tesla truck has that makes it more of a lifestyle truck, but also extremely functional for like 95% of the people that would buy a truck. Whereas this truck, it was designed to be like 90% or meet literally like 90 to 95% of what builders and construction workers would need, and yet price it in a range that is just not affordable for those guys. This is more like this truck is priced so that the guy who hires the construction workers can buy, but not the construction workers themselves. This is literally what you can put down a house payment and get a lot more out of it than a truck like this. I just can't imagine anyone putting down that kind of money to buy this truck and literally like hardly use any of these features. If you're putting down that kind of money, I can't imagine you're the type of guys out there hauling concrete and lumbers and laying drywalls or putting down framing members in a construction home, right? I mean, that's just not realistic for me to see this vehicle being aimed at that customer. So I think when they priced this vehicle, they weren't expecting the Cybertruck to come out and be, 50, 40, I mean 40, 50, $70,000 when it gets released. I mean, I think they were really shocked when they saw the Cybertruck, and I'm not sure if they're able to reduce their price. I don't know who's sourcing, who are going to be providing all the stuff that they're building, who's providing the battery, who's providing the drivetrain. So I don't know what they're capable of doing at this price range here to hopefully sell some and stay in business. Because at this price, guarantee they're gonna sell maybe a couple of thousand and then that's it. I can't imagine they have that many reservations at this price. So I wish them good luck. I hope that they find a way to stay in business and also be competitive somehow. The design's fine. I don't have a problem with that. The functionality of the truck is fine. It's just that the biggest problem is that entry level price point. There's just no way 95% of people who want to buy a truck can afford this. So right now, this is another victim of the Tesla truck. Dead in the water, It's another one that bites the dust. There's just no getting around that. Unfortunately, for anyone in the market for a truck, it looks like the Tesla is still gonna be the better offer of between the Cybertruck and whatever the competitor is providing. So just like the Rivian, I don't think this truck stands a chance. You might as well get a Cybertruck for yourself and buy a Model Y or a Model 3 performance for your wife or for another person in your family. But Yeah, this is kind of hopeless on Bollinger's part. Supposedly they're gonna start manufacturing in 2020 and begin delivery in 2021. That is earlier than what Tesla is promising, and with that pricing, I imagine they're not gonna have too many customers to worry about, so they might just meet their deadline in terms of manufacturing and delivery. I guess that's the bright side. All right. Well, if you're one of the guys that pick up the put a reservation in for the Bollinger, I wish you luck. I mean, if you can afford it, it's a nice looking truck. Don't get me wrong. It has a style that's unique to itself, and the functionality. I mean, besides having that cover for the bed and that pull down ramp, everything about this truck in terms of functionality is better than the Tesla. So if they have that cover and that pull down ramp, man, that would have been perfect. It would have been even better though if they started pricing it at around 50, 60K or under 70. But I guess that's not happening. All right, tell me what you guys think. Let me know.